Hey everyone, and welcome to the results announcement video of multiplayer round 60. In this round, all the players got a plot of 16 by 16 tiles, but they also shared a smaller plot of 8 by 16 tiles on both sides of their plot with their neighbors. So for example, this person and this person both had to build in their own plot, but they also had to build in this plot together. So yeah, we had 16 players in this round who all had to share some plots. In this video I will show all of them and I'll show you how well they scored. Okay, in last place we have Mulpje. Now we don't often see Mulpje ending up in last place, but obviously Mulpje did not have time to finish his plot. So while the buildings that are here look very cool, it's just not finished enough to get a good score from the voters. Okay, on a positive note, that does mean that 73 does not get last place this round. He's placed in 15th place with this building over here with the pirate roof. There's a coaster traveling through the plot here. Looks like a coaster. It's called 73's Retro Team. There's also lollipop stuff going on here. Not actually sure if his neighbor did actually extend into the plot, but this plot is a little bit undecorated. Maybe a few more decorations would have really helped make it look a little bit nicer. And this part of the plot looks like it's on fire, so that actually looks very dangerous. Somebody call the fire department. Okay, and then we get to the plot right next door. This one's from the Cloud QC. I've already shown this plot, which they shared. Again, a little bit unfinished with the grass. Probably could have used a few more decorations. This coaster here in the middle is actually pretty cool. Looks like a suspended swinging coaster. Although, when you actually make one of these, it's always a good idea to actually make it do some helixes, so the vehicles actually swing outwards, because that's really what makes these coasters so special. You'll need some lateral g-forces to make these cars rock to the sides. I do kind of like these custom supports here. They're pretty nice. Okay, then over here we have Cat Booger's plot. Cat Booger made this small wooden coaster, and also looks like there's a building on this side, and they're connected with a cave, it looks like. Now I'm not actually sure if Cat Booger built on this part of the plot. It doesn't really look like it's actually part of the theming here, so it kind of just looks like this plot is a little bit wasted. I do really like this side of the plot. I think it blends quite nicely with Redarius's plot over here. I think it does look pretty nice. Also like the aqueduct here in the background. I think that's pretty cool. I think if Cat Booger did a little bit more with this part of the plot, he would have easily scored a bit higher. Okay, here's the plot from Nova. And Nova did run out of time a little bit. But he made a little bit of urban section. Looks like there's a little road here, and then there's a parking lot. Looks like the road just gets cut off by this path. Maybe it would have been nice to actually make the path invisible here. It's also a coaster that travels through the three plots. I think that's some good usage of the space. It's also the structure here from the Cloud QC. Now that I look at it, these supports don't actually look like they're connected to anything. They're just called pole. So from this side it's actually a little bit weird, I think. Anyway, coaster, I think it's pretty nice. Just looks like a shuttle coaster with actually goes upside down here at the back. Kind of reminds me of one of those PAX shuttle coasters. It looks like there's even a little launch freefall here on this side, but I think that's actually from his neighbor. I think that's a pretty nice usage of the shared space here. But Nova did run out of time. I think it shows because it's a little bit under detailed in some parts. Well, I think the coaster is pretty nice. Okay, then over here we have Carp Runner's plot. He made this coaster called Typhoid Fever. I think that's a very charming name for a coaster. You can also see several chickens here. You can see a giraffe here with a chicken head. A panda with a chicken head. Yeah, I think it's always... I love funny quirks like that. You can see a statue here with a chicken head. I think that's pretty funny. I really like how these... how there's a gradient between Carp Runner's plot and Ricardo Wardo's plot. I think this shared plot, just blends really well. That's really well done. Over here on this side, though, here's of course Mulpia's unfinished plot. I think Carp Runner should have just taken charge here and just made it look a little bit more finished, just with some foliage. I think Carp Runner could have easily ranked a few spots higher. But yeah, it's always a bit annoying if you have to work together with a neighbor who isn't actually really active. Alright, over here we have the plot from Rhythm, which he speed ran a little bit. Here we have this dueling spinning coaster called Mental. That's quite the interesting layout. I think I could see the coaster speed up here, then brake, and then disappear in the building. And you can see them go up again, here duel with each other some more. I think it's a pretty interesting layout. It's funny to see what these coasters all do. Now, I'm not really sure what's happening with this building. Maybe it should have been decorated a bit more, not sure. But probably it's just was just left a little bit unfinished by Rhythm. But yeah, here's some nice buildings. Again, they look a little bit under-detailed compared to what Rhythm normally builds, but that obviously has to do with the time crunch, since I saw him building on this plot up until the last minute that the round allowed. Okay, here we have the corner plot from the Brew. He made this small coaster over here, very compact, quite some a few inversions, and lots of very sharp little top hats. It's called Boardwalk Blitz. I quite like the boardwalk that he made here. Looks nicer with the little beach. I also really love this gradient here onto the next plot. Looks like it just abruptly stops here and dives off into the void. I think it's a pretty cool transition on this side. Now, he also shared a plot with Nova, and I already showed you I really like the spike or the launched freefall that he built on this support for the coaster. I think that's really cool. Also some nice little corner buildings over here. A little beach, of course. Yeah, I think it's pretty nicely done. I mostly like the transitions here. They're really nice. Okay, then here we have the plot from Raymond L. And he recreated Majora's Mask here. If you don't know it, it's from the classic Nintendo 64 game Zelda Majora's Mask. We can see the Song of Time being played here. This is just the sheet music style of the Nintendo 64 Zelda games. And we can also see some other stuff here, like this Nintendo 64 controller. And actually has a wire going all the way to this Nintendo 64, which is on Manticore's plot. You can also see a sign here saying Geho. Probably you should read this as end, so it should say Ganon. And looks like a bit of a wasteland here, with a table with the Nintendo 64 extending onto it. I think that's some nice ways to share the plot. Now, I do think it would have been nice if there was a little bit more from the game Majora's Mask over here, rather than... well, I must say I do really like this Nintendo 64 controller and the mask, but now it's just like a floating mask, and it just looks like a collection of a few things from the game, but maybe an actual area from the game. Maybe would have tied it together a bit more. Over here, I don't really see what's the relation between all this stuff and the things that Rhythm built here. But maybe I'm missing something, I'm not sure. But yeah, I must say this mask is really cool. Probably one of the best sculptures I've seen anybody make in this game. Okay, then here we have Ball Pit Warrior's plot. He made this really cool plot with the Roman theme. Also has a little log flume on it. I think this is the best angle. I think this log flume is really cool, especially these curves here, where he used the bobsleigh track to actually make it look like the ledge is a bit higher there on one side. And that's definitely a trick I'm gonna use in my future parks. But yeah, really cool Roman themed plot over here. Maybe it would have been wise to have a handyman over here to mow the grass. I think it looks a little bit nicer than the unkept grass in this area. Now, also some really nice transitions to the neighbors. Over here we have this more pristine transition to Risiko's area, also with a maze and a beautiful temple over here. And on this side it looks more run down and a little bit more overgrown, a little bit more ruined. Yeah, I think that's just a wonderful transition and a great usage of the two plots here on the side. Definitely one of my favorites. Alright, and over here we have the plot from FlixSpy. Yeah, he actually made a big void in his entry. You can see a single rail coaster over here. I assume it gets launched here. Quite a cool layout, some very interesting supports. I especially like how this supports wrap around these walkways here. That's really nicely done. And we can also see something over here which looks like it is a supernova. Yeah, I think it's really cool how FlixSpy represented a supernova here. Although of course if a supernova actually happened here, then everybody in the park would be dead. But yeah, I think the plot itself looks very nice, and it's very differently themed from all the other entries. And once again, super nice transitions to the other plots right next to it. Alright, then we have Redarius's plot. He also got one of the corner plots, and he used it to make this big tower over here with a pair of vertical drop coasters. I'm not really sure if they have the same layout. No, looks like they don't actually have the same layout, because I see a loop here which I don't see over here. Yeah, but still, I think it's really cool to see them go up the chain lift here at the same time, and see them dual throughout the track at several moments. Also really cool to see how these station buildings were done. I really like the colors, that's pretty nice. And the transitions with the neighbors, I think the transition on this side is actually pretty nice. This side is a little bit less nice, but of course we know Mulpi didn't finish his plot, so that's most likely the reason. Alright, then here in the corner we have this plot from Manticore. Now we already saw the little plot next to it, this one that's on fire, someone called the fire department, and this one with the Geho sign. Now what I think is really cool about Manticore's plot is of course this big television that he made, which looks like it has these scan lines. It uses these stacks of a monorail track. Looks like he also used a little trick to actually make the text a bit smaller. There's one of these, yeah, if you put small font in between curly brackets, then it will actually show as smaller text. It's a little formatting trick that you can do. But yeah, he made this very recognizable scene from the original Zelda game. If you've played it, well, this is the first screen that you see once you get outside. And we can see Link over here waving his sword at invisible enemies. But yeah, really cool design for the television. Also really cool design for the Nintendo 64 on the table over here. Now we can also look into the television here. You can see Darunia here in this thing. But yeah, these are the cathode ray tubes, I guess. You can see a little circuit board over here with a big chip in the middle, and several other things. yeah, several devices on the chips, capacitors, etc. And you can also see the video and audio cables here on the back. Yeah, very classic, very typical. And yeah, I grew up with Super Nintendo, but some of my friends had one of these. And yeah, it's just a really nice throwback. Okay, over here we have the plot from Ricardo Bodo. He made this really cool. Yeah, it looks like a little pirate town, and there's a little ship here. And we have these cannons that are actually shooting cannonballs into the town. Yeah, that's just a wonderful usage of this plot, a wonderful transition. I think Ricardo Bodo and Risiko did a really great job here together. I really like also how Risiko's fort extends into this plot. Also some nice arches over here. But yeah, this town by itself already looks wonderful. It's also really nice to see these little boats travel around here. Little harbor over here, that's also done really nicely. And yeah, of course this transition into car burner's plot is also amazing. I love how it really transitions from like a pirate town into the weird theme where everything has a chicken head. Also love how Ricardo Bodo did this little ship here with the sails. Yeah, it's just a really cool looking little pirate town. Really nice buildings, nice foliage. Yeah, just wonderful. Alright, there's just 2 plots remaining. There's the one from Risiko, and there's the one from Low Poly Surf. Not actually sure where it is. I think it's this one. Must be this one. Yep. I will first show both of them, and after that I will reveal which one is the winner of this round. Now, first off, I'm going to start with the one from Risiko. He had this corner plot, and he built something in the Roman theme. Now, yeah, this is the more pristine version of a Roman theme, as opposed to, for example, a more ruined look. But yeah, really nice looking buildings over here. You can see a ghost train which travels all throughout this building, and also travels outside for a few parts. Really nice looking. And here in the middle we have this launched or this rotodrop ride, I should say. But yeah, really nice gardens in between. Really nice temples. Yeah, just great architecture, great usage of, for example, these Colosseum pieces. I love this tower that was made over here. Yeah, it's just a wonderful looking plot. And of course, there's great transitions to the plots right next to it. So yeah, Risiko just did an amazing job here in this round. And finally, of course, here's the plot from Low Poly Surf. Yeah, it looks like a little bit of an overgrown area with lots of ruins in between. Yeah, I think it's amazing landscaping here in this area. Love how Low Poly Surf did that over here. And of course, this plot stands out from most of the others since it also has an incredible looking coaster in it. And it's also quite large, spanning all 3 of the plots. Yeah, it's a nice launched coaster. Yeah, I think it just looks amazing here. Now, normally not a big fan of curved supports, but here, yeah, it's not a too realistic style, so I think it actually works here and looks pretty nice. Now, landscaping's great. Already mentioned it. Love this little rock work here next to the water. You can see some shops and stalls over here. That's looking pretty nice. I also really like the bridges that Low Poly Surf made, and I really love this transition here into Ball Pit Warriors plot. I think that looks really nice. I love these little ruins over here, and of course also this transition to Flix Pie's plot is also great. Love the little waterfall here, and yeah, just a drop off here into the void, and with these Egyptian ruined pieces here on the side. Yeah, a wonderful plot from Low Poly Surf. Now, both Risiko and Low Poly Surf had an amazing plot. But of course, only one of them can be the winner of this round. So let's reveal who is the winner. The winner of multiplayer round 60 is... Risico. Now, the difference in score was not very big, but yeah, more people thought Risico made a nicer plot. Yeah, I think both of these plots were amazing. Yeah, both players just did an incredible job, not only in creating their own plot, but also creating the plots that they shared with their neighbors. Great transitions and just great work in general. Now, I thought this round was really fun. Sadly, I could not extend it any longer to allow some people to maybe finish up their plots, because I have some other business to attend to. But still, I do think all the plots that were finished just looked amazing, and the quality in this round was just outstanding. Alright, that was it for this video. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. It would really help out my channel. If you want to join one of these rounds, just become a trusted member on my Discord server. You can find the link to my Discord server in the video description. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you again in the next one. See you later.